football, you keep bringing it up, right? It's sort of like an enduring passion for you. You still play, you referee and you coach, and you run the German All-Stars Football Club, right?
Well, I started when I was 8 years old, when I started to play football in Switzerland, and I never stopped, literally. Today I play for the veterans. I help to coach one of the teams. I run a club with 5 teams, the German All-Stars. I referee in a local amateur league. And I watch a lot of football. My wife says a bit too much, but so football is a very important part of my life. And I think it's a great balance to the business, really. I play twice a week probably, and do some other sports on the side. But it really allows me to, I think, balance the stress of the business with, keep a healthy lifestyle. Football has changed. There's too much money today in football, I think. And sadly, football is not important enough in Singapore as a whole, as a society. It's a side note. When you look at the 90s, when Singapore was in the Malaysia Cup, 50,000 people at the National Stadium. Today you get barely 3,000 to watch them play against Guam, right? The Jalan Besar. I mean, it's terrible. I just think sports is not important enough in Singapore for the government. I mean, there's lip service probably to say, yeah, we want a healthy lifestyle, we want people to exercise, but it's not big business, and I think that's why sponsorships are not really there.
If it were independent, totally independent, run by businesses, do you think a football league would be workable?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
Singaporeans love football.
Yes.
I mean, okay, you can argue they watch the Premier League and the La Liga and so on, but I'm convinced if there's a good product in Singapore, people will go and watch it in the stadium as well.
So what's stopping that from happening?
I think lack of sponsorship, lack of support from the government, from the top level, to say we really want a strong league.
That's what I'm saying is it's independent. So because once you have government intervention,
I think you need a catalyst. I think you need a catalyst to get it started. Ultimately, it should be private. I fully agree. And actually, one of the reasons,
not doing a good job as a catalyst at the moment.
One thing I think that probably is holding back the football scene here is that in almost every club you have politicians sort of in the committee somewhere, right? And I'm sure they try to help with network and all that, but they usually don't have really much of an understanding of what football is all about. And it's very difficult then to run a club if you have this sort of big brother watching you right over your shoulders. One thing, for example, we never know when the S League starts. I read this week it may start middle of the year. So what are the clubs doing from now until June? Play a cup game that nobody looks after, nobody cares? It's ridiculous. In the big countries, in the big leagues, the league starts middle of August and it ends middle of May. Every year. In Singapore, we never know when the league starts and when it ends. So you can't really have a proper planning for clubs also. I think it's very difficult.
It's still viewed as a hobby, right?
Yeah.
Right. I think that's the main issue here. So how do you run your club then?
Of course, it's very different, right? I mean, not all, but mostly expats who live here or work here. We also have Singaporeans, by the way, in the club. It's not exclusively expatriates, but they're all here. It's all a hobby for them, right? It's not, nobody makes money from this. We all pay money to play, actually. So it's a very different ball game. And the challenge nowadays is just to find football fields to play on. With Turf City, just closed a few months ago. It's very difficult to find a pitch where you can play. And it's getting more and more expensive.
And how do you stay fit?
Football? No, I played twice.
Have you been injured to a point where you can't play?
I had minor injuries like, pulled a muscle, hamstring and all that, and had a ligament issue. But I think by and large, again, I was lucky not to get serious injuries. But I think I also looked after my body. I went to the gym like from 30 years onwards, twice or 3 times a week. I think it helps to strengthen the body. I do Pilates every week. I think it helps to extend my football career, if I can call it that. And you cannot stop. I think the moment you stop playing football at our age, you can never come back. That's why I can't stop. I have to listen to my body, absolutely. And if the body says this is it, then I have to stop. But the body hasn't told me that yet. I feel my knee after the game a bit, but I recover fairly quickly. So until that stays like that, I have no reason to slow down. Right? people have access through their mobile phone to their account and all that. But ultimately it boils down to advice, and everybody wants advice, whether they are 35 years old or 65 or 85. They want to have a second opinion. Very few people are confident enough to manage their money just listening to themselves, basically. They want someone to tell them, this is a good idea, it's a bad idea, you shouldn't do that. And most clients, most investors are not disciplined. So I think our task is also to keep them on the path, if you want, that they have a strategy and they stick to it. Well, for sure, the closer you get to retirement, the less risk you take, right? If you're 25 years old, you can take a lot of risk, meaning equity or higher octane stuff, because you have more time to make up again. But if you're approaching 60 and you know you have 2, 3, 4 more years to go, then you probably want to shift your risk away from equity more to fixed income to generate steady returns for you that you can probably live off, ideally after your retirement. So the closer you get to retirement, the less risk you will take with your investments. That's and no leverage.
And what if it's somebody who has not been in this space at all, but is about to retire, has some money? What do you suggest they do?
Stay very conservative. Stay close to your reference currency. If you're Singaporean, probably stick to like 80% to Singapore dollars because you have no currency risk there. Buy some REITs, you get some 4, 5, 6% return. Buy some Singapore dollar bonds, give you 3, 4% return at the moment, and don't take risk. You don't need to take risk at that point in your life.